All right, what's going on, guys? It's Asthmatic here to talk about the conventions that we've got coming up for the rest of 2016. So I've got 4 here on my list that I want to go over for various reasons, and we're going to start them off with WonderCon, which is coming up. It feels like it's right around the corner. I mean, it's a month away. It's going to be March 25th through the 27th here in Southern California at the Los Angeles Convention Center. I'm going to be doing like full coverage of this event. And if you know what WonderCon is, the first thing you're thinking is, well, it's not really like a gaming event. And you're correct, it isn't a big-time gaming event, but I plan on covering E3 as best I possibly can, depending on my attendance and how that's all going to work. Because, again, FanFest hasn't been confirmed or denied yet, so I don't know. But the same thing with Comic-Con, which I will for sure be there and covering everything gaming and all that. And I want to have done that before. I want to have been to a convention and recorded every day and worked with my mobile recording setup and all that kind of stuff before I go to the big time conventions. I want to have all that stuff out of the way so that I can focus on just getting the information and really producing the best product I possibly can for you guys. So I'm going to be going to WonderCon, going to be hanging out a lot with some friends from the 405th Pacific Infantry Division. One thing that's a big part of my life, but not something that I've really shared so much on the channel, is cosplay. I've done a ton of cosplay in the past. I've done a lot of work with the 405th. They are an absolutely amazing group of people. You should definitely go subscribe to their YouTube channel here on YouTube. They don't have a lot of content up right now, but that's really just because we haven't really made that much content yet. But we have a panel and a fan table at WonderCon that I'll be showing some footage from that on this channel in my WonderCon videos. But we will be filming the panel, and we'll get that edited and uploaded onto the 405th Pacific YouTube page. So if you're interested in cosplay, you should be. Cosplay is amazing. It's a fantastic subculture full of some amazing people who are just really all about creativity and expressing themselves and expressing their love of games or movies or anime or whatever through cosplay. And it's super awesome. And if you don't know a lot about it, definitely do some research. Come to a convention, come to WonderCon if you are able. It's probably one of the easiest conventions to really be able to get into, because it's not like Comic-Con where it's just a guillotine trying to get tickets. And even if you do get tickets for Comic-Con, they're really expensive, whereas WonderCon tickets are not so expensive. So I think it's a really approachable convention. It is getting bigger and bigger every year. They've now moved to the Los Angeles Convention Center for this year, and I'm not sure, again, I'm by no means associated with them or anything like that, but I feel like this move to the Los Angeles Convention Center is temporary. I feel like it's only for this year, because I've driven past the Anaheim Convention Center a couple times in the last few months, which is where WonderCon normally is, and they've got some kind of big construction going on. They're adding on a hall or something like that, and that construction is definitely going to be going on for the next few months. So I feel like they've really moved to LA this year because there's big construction going on in Anaheim, and they probably didn't want to have the convention there. They couldn't have the convention there. So while the LA Convention Center is, it could be more convenient for some people, less convenient for others. It's further away for me, but that's whatever. Just know that from this guy's perspective, that looks a little bit temporary, but obviously we will know at the end of WonderCon 2016 where they're going to be in 2017, because with conventions like this, there's always somewhere, because convention centers plan their stuff out way far in advance. So at WonderCon this year, they will know, where they're going to be next year and when it's going to be next year and all that stuff. So, well, if you're going, be on the lookout for that. We'll know, and I will obviously include that information in my WonderCon coverage here on this channel. So again, even though it's not a huge gaming event, I'm going to be there to cover anything I can. If there is anything going on gaming related, I will be there and I will be talking to people. I want to do some interviews. I want to capture as much stuff as I possibly can. I will also be in cosplay. I'm cosplaying with my girlfriend, Meltycat, who you can find over on Twitter, Meltycat Cosplay. I will be cosplaying with her. We're going to be Kindred and Wolf from League of Legends. It's going to be super exciting. We've already been working on some stuff. She's got stuff working. I made a set of digigrade stilts from Chaos Cosplay. Any cosplayers, you should definitely check her out. I built an amazing set of stilts by means of her fantastic instructions and her amazing design. I was able to get them done in half a day, and they work great. They're super comfortable, and they're a ton of fun to wear. So check her out if you're interested in cosplay. Chaos Cosplay. She's got an Etsy store. So that's really what we've got for WonderCon. We're going to be hanging out with the 405th. We're bringing you interviews and information from them. That is March 25th through the 27th. After that, we've got the granddaddy of them all, which is, of course, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, or E3, which is going to also be at the Los Angeles Convention Center from June 14th through the 16th. But really with E3, it's not a 3-day thing. I mean, it's a week-long event because last year FanFest was the sign-up for FanFest was the weekend before, and then the Microsoft press conference was on Monday, and then the actual show was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So E3 is really a week-long event of everything that's going on in gaming news and the gaming lifestyle and subcultures, all of them really combined. If you look at, most businesses have, there's the calendar year, and then they have their, sort of fiscal year where it's all divided by money and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got, all these different calendars that sort of reset at different times that aren't always aligned with the actual calendar year. And E3 is really that time for the gaming world where everything we do January through June is kind of it feels like the tail end of the year really, because when we get to E3 in June, that's when all the big players, and I mean all of the really big players, when you've got your Microsoft press conference and your Sony and your Nintendo, and Bethesda last year really blew it out of the water. They gave an excellent press conference, and then having Todd Howard come to the Microsoft one and talk about mods for Fallout 4, which are going to be amazing, was a whole ton of fun. And this is really the time when you need to pay attention and see what's going on, because this is when the guys bring out all their big guns and really show us what they've got in store for us for this next year and even beyond. So if you're not going to get a chance to be there, I'm sorry. It is a super fun convention to get to go to, but there is going to be a ton, and I mean a ton of coverage from the established media as well as from YouTubers like me. If they do a fan fest, which again I have to say has not been confirmed or denied yet, if they do a fan fest, I will be there. I will be giving every possible effort I can to be there, to be a part of the show, and if I can get in, I will be recording and I will be interviewing and talking to anyone that I possibly can to bring you guys as much information as possible, because that's where it's going to be. So E3 is going to be June 14th through the 16th at the Los Angeles Convention Center. As far as attending that event, general public, no. I'm sorry, I really wish that anyone could get to go and be a part of E3, but these days it is really a trade-only show. If you work in the industry, if you work for a game developer in any, I believe in any way, if you work for a game developer, you should be able to get in pretty much as long as you're part of the industry. So, but beyond that, if you're just a dude who loves playing games, you can't really buy a ticket. And even for the people who do buy tickets, they're upwards of $1,000. To give a very brief, I know this video is going long, but for a brief history on that, E3 used to be like Comic-Con. Anyone could come. It was huge. It was this big event. Anyone could come and be a part of it. And they wanted it to be more exclusive and for it to be less extremely overly crowded. And so they started raising ticket prices. And yeah, of course, some people stopped coming and people were really bummed that it was so expensive to go. But as they kept raising ticket prices, it still was a hugely crowded event. And so they eventually just dropped the hammer and said, all right, there it is. Now it's trade only, and you can only be in attendance if you're someone who works in the industry or a professional or somebody like that. So yeah. On the flip side, that's what makes events like FanFest so awesome, because Xbox really cares about, Twitter alerts. Xbox really cares about hanging out with us, about hanging out with the community, and they give us this invitation, this opportunity to come and be a part of E3. So that's what FanFest is all about. Whether or not it's happening this year has not been confirmed or denied. But as soon as it is, you will know on this channel, as well as following me on Twitter, as well as anybody else. You guys know who to follow on Twitter. You know what you're doing. Then the next month in July, on the 21st through the 24th, we've got Comic-Con, which is one of my personal favorite conventions because it provides a really interesting opportunity for anyone to come out to a show and really get a chance to get injected right into the mainstream of really all mass media. Comic-Con, hence the name, was founded on comics, and comics still have a big presence there. If you're a fan of comics, definitely go to the show. You'll find a lot of great booths and retailers, guys who have huge collections of comics where you can buy and sell and get to see some really interesting and some really rare products that you won't get a chance to experience anywhere else. And but continuing from that, Comic-Con these days has really also become about mass media, where it's about movies and television and gaming as well. So anything that's going on within those sort of spheres of influence, you can get a taste of that and get a piece of that at Comic-Con. For the last few years, Xbox has been doing what they call the Xbox Lounge. I think I know that guy. Sorry, somebody just rode by on a bike. Xbox has been doing the Xbox Lounge in the Manchester Grand Hyatt, which is just down the street, where they've got, anytime the expo hall is open, they've got this big giant ballroom with, you know, different displays from different developers, and of course Xbox themselves as well. Like last year they were showing off all kinds of new games and stuff, and they had some of their displays that they had at E3, they brought there as well. Like I remember they did at E3 last year, they had the HoloLens experience for Halo 5, and then that same like box, like arena, because it was a huge thing that they had. If you're at E3, you know, it was this huge box. You like, it was a room that you walked into and everything, and they brought that whole box to Comic-Con, and they did a Boomco arena, like you went in and had a Nerf fight, but they were like, or sorry, not Nerf fight, sorry. You went in and had a dart battle with Boomco guns, and they were, of course, all the Halo weapons, which are hugely awesome and super fun to play with. And we all got to go in our Halo armor and do that. So it was a ton of fun. Comic-Con's an amazing event. At the time of this video being made, I'm about 99% sure that if you don't have a ticket yet, you're not going to be able to get one. One, because their closed and open registrations have already both passed. And two, because even if those hadn't passed, it is extremely, 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 extremely difficult to get a ticket. It's pretty much 99% luck whether or not you can actually get one. I'm not going to go over the way they sell tickets here, but if you know what it is, you know what I mean, that it's very difficult to do so. So that's what we've got going on for Comic-Con. It's it's at the San Diego Convention Center, in case anyone didn't know that. July 21st through 24th, like I said, in San Diego. I'm going to be there, staying at a hotel somewhere. I'm going to have my laptop with me, and I'll be making videos every day, uploading them every night. Seeing as I will be in a hotel, I'm not sure at all what my upload speed is going to be like, or, oh geez, I just realized I need to figure that out. I need to talk to some friends and find out what my internet's going to be like, because I want to upload videos for you guys, but I don't know what my hotel internet's going to be like. So that's my plan. I'm going to be hanging out at the Xbox Lounge, filming anything that they will let me do. Major Nelson is always there hanging out, so hopefully I'll get the chance to give him a high five. Be on the lookout for that. Major Nelson, I'm coming for you at Comic-Con. I'm going to give you a high five. Sweet. Not that he would ever watch this video, but if you do, Larry, hi. I'll give you a high five at Comic-Con. The final thing that I want to talk about, the final convention that I want to talk about for this video is PAX Prime, which dates have not been confirmed yet, but I noticed somebody on their forums were saying they thought it was going to be September 2nd through the 5th. It's usually the last weekend of August, first weekend of September, you know, kind of 1 or 2 weekends either way. PAX Prime is a super cool convention from what I hear. I've never had the pleasure of going myself. It is in Seattle at their convention center up there. And even though I've never been there, I know people who have, and a good friend of mine has described it as E3 for people who can't go to E3. Most game development studios and people like Xbox and Sony and all these guys who go to E3 also go to PAX, and they bring most of their same stuff. So if you don't get to go to E3, but you want to be like, man, or you're like, man, I really wish I could see that thing or experience that, or play that demo that they had at E3. From what I hear, a lot of that stuff also makes its way to PAX Prime. So dates haven't been confirmed. Tickets are not on sale yet. Tickets are going to go on sale later down the road. If you're interested in going, you can go do your own research on it. I know like 2% of how their ticket sales work, but I might be making an attempt to go this year. I don't really know. So I will have more information on how PAX ticket sales work in a couple of months. But for now, just know that that's a convention way down the road. If you're interested in conventions, you should definitely be focusing on WonderCon, E3, and Comic-Con right now, because PAX is still way down the road at the end of this year. So I just want to take some time and just talk about, the conventions that we had coming up for the remainder of this year. And there are more than that. These are really just the big hitters. Definitely take a look in your area, because there are smaller conventions around the US and around the globe taking place where great gaming stuff is going to happen. Like, I didn't even mention Gamescom in this, which is in Cologne, Germany. I didn't mention that because that's something that, I don't really have any access to. I would never be able to go there and participate. So any of my viewers aren't going to gain from, me. I'm not going to be there to bring you guys any coverage, but about Gamescom, do independent research on it and find, people from Germany or Xbox themselves who are going to be there to get all the information from Gamescom that you could ever want. So that's what I've got for conventions today. This video is already going on way longer than I wanted it to, or that I meant it to, but information is good. If you guys have any questions, would like to know anything else about the conventions, these conventions, or any others coming up in 2016, please hit me up in the comments below. I'll provide you with any information I have. And if there's anything specific that you want to see from these shows, take advantage of the fact that I'm just a guy with a camera, that I'm not like having to work there or anything like that, but that if there's something you want to see, like, hey, what do these guys have at this show, I can go there, I can go to that booth and I can see, and I can take pictures and put them on Instagram or get it in a video or whatever to get that information back out to you guys. So let me be your conduit. If you can't come to Comic-Con, tell me what you want to see. I will get that information. I will put it in a package, put it on the internet so that it can come right to your eye holes. So thank you guys very much. This has been Asthmatic talking about conventions in 2016, and we'll be seeing you guys next time. Have a good one.